So this is another variation on a baitfish pattern, and this one is tied with a brush, but very much in the style of the Trey Combs Sea Habit baitfish. Um, his pattern used bucktail and flashabou, but the basic concept was that the most of the body of the fly was white, and then any colors were added over top as kind of a veil. And so we're going to use that same concept here. And the advantage of that for us is that we can tie the body with a brush and still end up with a fly with some extra color and you know, a little bit of counter shading and everything going on. So anyway, we're going to add a little bit of mirror image here for the tail, just to kind of add to that fusiform profile that we're looking for, that fishy shape. And a little bit of flashabou just to give it a little bit of solidity. We'll add that in there, like so. Bring that all back. And there we have a tail. Now we'll take our dubbing brush, we'll tie this in, and relative to a lot of the flies I tie with dubbing brushes, this one will be on the sparser side. It's definitely not a sparse fly, but it will be a lot sparser than many of the other flies that I tie. So with that in mind, we're going to try and keep the wraps to a minimum, and we'll just kind of add a lot of space in between them as we go. So each time we wrap this, we'll move forward a fair amount, and I'm going to end up using 4 or maybe 5 wraps to do this whole fly. So one more should do it. All right, so there we go with that. And trim off that brush. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to wrap this all in, build up a little bit of a head, which will be an advantage when we go to add the eyes, because it'll give us a little bit more space to put them. But anyway, that's it for the white. We'll take that out of there. Now I'll brush that out a little bit. Oh, that's looking pretty good, I think. Okay. So from here, we're going to take our monofilament thread. And we're going to add a little bit of a veil. In this case, we're going to use the same brown that I use for my baitfish pattern. And just cut it in half. And we're going to tease that out a little bit, give it kind of a natural look, like so. And we'll just lay that up over top. Tie that in. Bring it back. All right, how are we doing there? Okay, that's looking good. And we'll bring this back up to the front, and we'll tie in a few strands, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 strands, something like that, of our root beer midge flash. And again, we're just gonna tease it out just a little bit and wrap that in, bring it back over top, like so. Now, the final step is to add our tape eyes. And I've become a big fan of the Bob Popovic strategy of using the monofilament thread to wrap the eyes so that they stay put until you get the epoxy on, and they can form to the shape of the head so it's not distorted by the eyes when you go to put the epoxy on there. My bobbin fell apart. And there we go.